Do you want to know what separates a proposal and a proposal that can actually win? What I've seen across my many years of doing RFPs is win themes. Win themes allow you to strategically position your company, your solution to that prospect's unique pain and their current way of doing things, and how you're looking to actually solve that pain for them in a coherent way. That is what I'm going to cover in today's video regarding win themes. So strap in, we'll do this quick fire. What are win themes? What is a great win theme and why you should do them? And then finally, some examples of how you can use AI to help create win themes. But first, I always like to go into data about why win themes are important. So we did a survey with Stargazy, a bid manager community of over 100 winning bid teams, and found that 71% of teams that win more than 50% of their bids use win themes, while only 42% of the low win cohort who win less than 25% of their bids use win themes. That's a pretty sizable gap. So this is one of the things that you can copy to write better RFP responses and better proposals and implement in your own RFP process to help you win more. So let's dive into it. What is a win theme? It's a sentence you want the evaluator to repeat in the scoring meeting, even when you are not in the room. It's the thing that they're going to take away from your proposal and is your unique differentiator. It's not a tagline about your company it's not a feature list. It's an argument tied to proof. Proof is in the pudding for this one, and it's incredibly important to make sure these win themes are conceptual and relevant to your company, relevant to the prospect's actual pain and current way of doing things, and how your solution is looking to solve that. The win theme breaks down into 4 parts every time. You've got their outcome, your mechanism, your proof, and then the risk you take off the table. Test of a great win theme. Is this something a competitor or anyone completing that bid could copy and say exactly about them? If that's the case, most likely that you are not differentiated enough. For instance, is it that you have the most experienced team? You've got veterans in the industry with over 100 years of combined experience across who will actually be implementing them. Do you have the most logos or the most relevant customers in their particular niche segment and in delivering that solution, and you have them as a reference and case study, and you're the only one who has those exact references that are related to that customer? Those proof points differentiate that win theme from a generic statement about enterprise implementation to make it actually more relevant to them and more relevant to your company. You take off the risk of a failed implementation. You take off the risk of low user adoption throughout the term of the contract, or whatever it is that is related to potential risks of a failed rollout of your solution. So with win themes, it's really important to make sure that your win themes are strong, in that you don't want a ton of things that are just going to add a lot of noise to your proposal. You want to try and focus on around 3. A couple of strong themes beat many really weak ones. Every theme has to carry that proof point that can be named, and no theme survives without an evaluation criterion behind it. So around that theme, how does that help strengthen your proposal? And then looking at the evaluation criteria of their RFP, how does it help you win further marks on there? How does your win theme relate to that company's stated goals and what they want to achieve with this project in preparing and presenting the RFP? Proposals that try to be everything to everyone generally win nothing. Specificity, differentiation, all of that really matters in relation to your proposal, and it also just lets the prospect know that you care, that you're putting the time and effort into this proposal. You're writing it for them, not generic company. You actually have read and understood the evaluation criteria. You most likely have spoken to them before. You hopefully understand their current way of doing things really well. And all of that is going to incorporate into the response. And it helps you come across as a trusted partner and someone they want to do business with. When you have those themes, for instance, I have a theme around workflow, around partnership, and around governance. Each one of these would be stated incredibly important to the prospect in their own language. And then I would go through each of the relevant RFP response sections, and I would map each of the themes about when to lead and when they support. So when someone reads the exec summary, it might have a note from my CEO about trusted partnership and why that's important. And then it could also talk to about in us reading the RFP response, we noticed that workflow is the most important to them and their reason for coming to RFP. And so leading to those sections, that kind of helps map this process of mapping the sections to themes, helps keep everyone aligned as to when to say something and when not to say something. When adding in additional language actually is just adding in fluff and doesn't actually lead to your consistent and coherent messaging that is behind writing that winning bid. So here's 3 examples of where AI can turbocharge your win themes. Now I'm going to use AutoRFP in our project agent for this, but you can of course use ChatGPT, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, kind of any agent that would have access to the RFP documents and would have access to context relating to that prospect, whether it's from your CRM, your call notes, public information about the prospect. What you want to make sure is all that information is accessible to the agent and it can use it to help you do a bit of research and generate the win theme. So AI, incredibly helpful here, and it's going to help you turbocharge your win themes into your process, but it's definitely not a replacement for great work. I've got my requirements and my responses. I'm going to use the project agent from AutoRFP to look through my call recordings in just this example from NetSuite. So this is a fake RFP and not actual call recordings with NetSuite. And it's effectively going to go through, and here you can see here it's using MCP or Model Context Protocol to integrate with HubSpot, my CRM. And effectively it's pulling all the relevant call recordings informations to help me generate win themes. And it's got that context. So we've had maybe six meetings with the prospect already. And it's generated 3 ones. So turn messy intake into a usual project of minutes, not days. So it's about time cutting for intake. So intake in terms of how you receive RFPs. Give every team the right work fast with less admin and clearer ownership. And generate granted AI responses that stay controlled, explainable, and secure. So it's done okay. But where is it lacking? How does it actually relate to the current RFP requirements? So I've got the RFP in front of me, and it's telling me, okay, these are these requirements, this is why the win theme, this is why it fits, and so on. Tied back the win themes directly to the RFP response. But now I want to understand more around proof points of why us? And look for social proof or other evidence points in relation to this win theme. But my example here in talking to the AI is really just to go back and forth and help it reinforce my thinking, my critical thinking for this win theme, these win themes, and having it do the legway and research. But effectively, I want to ensure that it's providing critical thinking as well. But the example here really was to show how I'm using AI just in discussing with it, and my critical thinking is coming across in double checking its work, but also in helping me form my own ideas about these win themes and not just taking everything it gives at face value. It's given us more social proof. It's looked through our case studies. It has looked at adoption, operations, product, and just more evidence to weigh into those win themes and differentiate them. And then it's gone into more about why us. But the example here wasn't these specific win themes, whether they're good or bad. It was more around how you can use AI. In this example, it read through over 5 meetings of call recordings, which was probably hours of transcripts that I then don't have to watch. And then using that to form the basis and understanding of this prospect and the RFP that it has in front of it, that it has access to, and helping form win themes based on my prompting and my understanding of it as well. So the next example is then looking at a battle card or competitor positioning, which might just be an internal document you have on file. And I'm using the AutoRFP project agent then to look at that information and talk to me about a displacement for one of the legacy RFP solutions. So in this example, this is a fake RFP, but they're using Loopio, a legacy RFP provider. And it's effectively about technical limitations of their product. For instance, keyword-based workflows versus our semantic search, and also their pricing model. So they do seat-based pricing, and we have unlimited users. And it's talking about how those can be used to help form a story around displacement and why that might be important to the prospect. Then for the final one, for our third one, I have a unique selling proposition. So a bit of marketing differentiation I have on my company. This is just an example. And I'm going to use this and ask it to use that unique selling point to help generate win themes. And again, it has access to the RFP in front of me, and it's kind of talking about each of those win themes, about why they're important. And you base off the RFP, created me some win themes that are really interesting. And again, that's another example. So these are all context you have access to. You have access to call notes and or information that you have from talking to the prospect. That is so relevant and important. You have battle cards or competitive positioning, and you have differentiation. You should hopefully have a solid understanding of why your company, why it's different, and why it should be the chosen solution for their problem. And so each one of these, you can help feed into AI to help get you head started on your win themes. My final note here before I give you some free downloads is that most teams lose an RFP because their system is perfectly designed to produce the results they currently achieve. So if you're finding that your RFP win rate isn't moving, I think one of the best things to look at first is your RFP process. We've just covered off win themes and how you can turbocharge AI. Now, my free downloads that I mentioned. So proposal win rate report, you can grab from the link in the description below. You can download that, and it has all the data and a lot more information about the RFP process. Is our win theme generator skill. So a skill is like a saved prompt that you can upload and use across ChatGPT, Claude, or Microsoft Copilot, your AI tooling. And this skill is to really help you own in and generate win themes based off everything we covered today around call notes and transcriptions, based off your CRM or what information you have on the prospect, public information from the prospect, and evaluation criteria that hopefully they provide in their RFP, and of course the RFP itself. So much relevant context that can be used by AI to help you generate amazing win themes to win your next RFP. I'm Rob from AutoRFP. Thanks. See ya.